Yeah. So once again, good morning, everyone. In the last session, we were discussed item attributes. I think we up to here we discussed. So let's continue now. So reservable. I think we discussed this. Reservable is something like whenever you have demand from your customer, right? Demand from your customer, and you will be reserving the item. Reserving the item. So if you reserve the item, so it means that that specific item which you reserved is specific to that specific sales order, specific to customer only. You cannot utilize that item for other order, other customer. So for that purpose, we have reservable. Okay. So if you enable this, this item can be reserved. If you disable, this item cannot be reserved. Okay, cannot be reserved. It's simple thing like reservations. Okay, reservations. If you are traveling, right? If you are traveling to one state to other state by air or something, right? You will book the flight tickets, right? It's like resort. You are making a seat resort for you, so that other people cannot select the same seat or same like that. Or if you're going train or bus, same thing we do, right? Similar way, the reservations. Okay. And sometimes if you observe, when we are like booking the items in Amazon, right, it will show you like available only, left only two items, left only one item, that kind of message you might see. So it's like whenever a customers are like end customers are placing an order, so it will reserve. The quantity is there, means the inventory quantity is there in inventory organization, but it is not moved out, but it is reserved. It is reserved means for next orders, for other orders, the same item, same quantity is not available. So that's the meaning of this reservable. If you enable this, all the functionalities you can utilize. Okay. If you disable this item cannot be reservable. Okay, fine. The item cannot be reservable. And this is like material check material shortage. Like we have like whenever you have a limited quantity in organization, right? If you are having any planning cycle, then this may be useful, I guess. Okay. And let's come to here lot expiration. Okay, lot expiration. So self life days will be there. It's like 365 days. Okay, or half year. So they'll maintain based on companies. So lot is like a lot number can have a bulk quantity. Okay, bulk quantity. So if you want to have a lot related activity, lot control, lot numbers, right, then we should enable this with self life days are user defined. Okay. It's more on when the lot will be expired. So based on the lot expiration date, the system will advise, okay, this lot is going to expire soon. So you have to consume this, like you have to send this lot items out. You have to sell first these lot items. Okay. So all these self life days and all, if we have if any pharmaceutical industries will use this, okay, self life days and all. Okay, fine. And then lot. So this is lot expiration and this is lot generations. How do you want to generate the lot? Okay. If you want to go and generate, then you have like full control and it will ask you to enter starting prefix. Okay. And starting number. So prefix is something like lot, how you going to generate. If you are manufacturing an item, if you are storing an item in Bangalore, then this would be like ABB, like organization code we have, right? ABB is the Bangalore. That is a prefix and starting number 0001, something like you can give. Okay. Or here ABB lot means ABB lot and 0001 is the lot number one, like that. Okay. So maturity days and hold days. How many days you can hold, okay? So that also you can specify. Based on this attribute, the system will automatically suggest so and so lot number is going to expire soon. You have to pick it. Okay, you have to pick it. So in order management, we have some pick slip reports. The pick slip reports will automatically suggest which is the item, where is the item, in which sub inventory, which locator the item is there, and this item is going to expire soon. So you have to consume it. So in this way, it will suggest. So all this for that purpose, and also to track bulk quantity. The lot number is mainly to track bulk quantity. Okay, fine. And then locator control. So this locator controls we can set up at organization level, at sub-inventory level, and item level. So we will be having an option here also. So at organizations level, you will be having an option determined at sub-inventory level and pre-specified and dynamic entry. And again in a sub-inventory level, you will be having an option, okay, at item level and pre-specified and dynamic entry. And item level, you will be having an option pre-specified and dynamic entry. Okay. So this is fine. This is common, no control. If you select no control, means you are not using this item in locators. Okay. So why we need all these places, the locator control options, right? Because if you take an organization level, some companies will maintain everything in locators, and some companies will maintain only few sub inventories are locator control, means row and rack locator control, and others are other sub inventories are so like free space, empty space, okay, where you can just keep a bulk items, okay, bulk items. It's not like locators, row and locators, okay, row rack. It's just free space, okay. In that scenarios, the sub inventory will decide whether it is locator control or not. And again, in a single sub inventory, you will be having some free space, okay. Let me open the document regarding the locators. Yeah, here. This is one entire inventory, right? So if you in organization level, if you set up, it means that all the sub inventories are using locator. If you set up in organization level, determined at sub inventory level, then your sub inventories will decide whether it is locator control or not. For example, if storage is decided, it is a locator control. Okay, and remaining these are all not a locator control. So in that case, this will have a locator. All these are not a locator control. That is at okay, at sub-inventory level, dynamic entry are pre-specified. If and this level, right? This level, sub-inventory FGL level. So you might have the option maybe determine at sub-inventory level. In that case, okay, no, no, no. At item level setup, if we have the option at item level setup in sub-inventory level, then it means that your item will decide whether it is locator or non-locator control. Okay. So example, let's go to the stock locator. Stock locator. Yeah. Stock locator. If you see these are all rows and racks, right? Locators. If you see there is a space also is there. Here the space is there. Here the space is there. So in this case, what the option we can set up is we can set up at sub-inventory level at item level. Means your item will decide whether this item can be stored in locators or in the empty space. Okay, or in empty space. So that is the meaning. That is the meaning of item level in sub-inventory level setup. I'll show you that also. Let me go back to here. Setup organization sub-inventories. So if you see here locator option, right? Item level. Okay, locator option item level. At the same time, at organization level, let me show you parameters. Go to the parameters. Okay, if you see here, determined at sub-inventory level. Okay, here it will decide. Okay, this organization will decide. See, this organization have a huge sub-inventories, so the locator is enabled or not, it will decide at sub-inventory level. Okay, and again, if you come to the sub-inventory level, okay, again, sub-inventory is having a some not entire row and rack system, just free space also is there. In that case, in sub-inventory level, you will have item level. And again, in item level, it is item specific, item control. If you want to store this item in locators, then enable this as a pre-specified or dynamic entry. Okay. So we will have a discussion what is pre-specified and dynamic entry in locator control. We have control inventory controls topic. Okay, there we will just simple pre-specified in the sense before you doing the transaction, you must define locators. If a dynamic entry, while you're doing the transaction itself, you can directly input what locator you want to store, and that locator will also create automatically. Okay, fine. So this is the one. And restrict sub-inventories and restrict locators. So this is something like if you use this functionality, right, then some items you can restrict to store in some other place. You can give decide locator and decide sub-inventory. Okay, and that item is only eligible to store the item in specific sub-inventories. That is like restrict sub-inventory. For example, so this the item is there. So once I manufactured it, I should only store in FG sub inventory, finished goods sub inventory. Example, let's go back to this. So in entire our course, we'll always come to this chart. Okay, fine. So once you manufacture the item, okay, I want to store only in FG, means finished goods sub inventory. FG finished goods sub inventory. I don't want to store this item again in storage sub inventory or receiving sub inventory and or something raw material sub inventory. I don't want to store. I want to store only in FG. In this case, you can use this functionality. Restrict sub inventories. Okay, fine. Restrict sub inventory is decided. Again, what is this restrict locator? Again, restrict locator in the sense you have like hundreds of row and rack system and every locators, but you want to store in only specific locator, specific location. In that case, you can utilize this restrict locators. Okay. So whenever you do any transaction for that item, right, the system will not allow you to do transaction except that sub inventory, except that locator. Okay, fine. And this is cycle count. A cycle count is something like we will be having counting methods. Okay, inventory counting method, and this is for on-hand availability, on-hand quantities. So every few companies are like every 1 year, half year, or quarterly, they do some auditing. Okay, inventory auditing. So in that inventory auditing, they will do make sure whether in the factory having the quantities, right, physically available quantity and the quantity which is available in systematically, okay, whether it is matching or not. So that kind of counting they do perform. Okay, so all this for the what purpose? For auditing purpose. So we should make sure the system quantity and physically available quantity should be matched. Okay, so in those scenarios, this will be helpful. Okay. So we also have topic inventory counting methods. In that case, you will get to know what is the counting, what purpose we do counting and everything. Okay. And this is serial control related. So serial control, we know all people are know serial something like any queue number for the item, which is used to track any services. For example, you buy the laptop and it will have the serial number. So after a couple of months, it something issue in the laptop and you need service, right? When you go to the service center, first thing what they do, they'll check the serial number. That serial number is enough to track everything. Like the serial number is enough to check the product life cycle. So when I say product life cycle, when it was manufactured, okay, from which place it was manufactured, okay, when it was sold, okay, when it was sold, everything will be there with that serial number. Okay, even if you buy the mobile number also will have serial number, everything. Even if you take the vehicle have chassis numbers, those are serial number. Okay, in a queue field. Okay, to maintain those serial numbers, if you enable this, then you can maintain serial numbers. Okay, serial number generation you can maintain. You can have at receipt, at sales order ratio, and pre-specified, predefined. So predefined in the sense wherever you see predefined and all right, something like before even transaction, before even manufactured item, you can just have the serial number generated. Okay, and say at sales order issue in the sense sales order issue, wherever you see issue, this word, it means it meaning that we are sending the quantity out. Okay, we are sending the quantity out means we are selling the product, we are shipping the product. In that case, you want to allocate the serial number, then you select the option at sales order issue. So at receipt in the sense, while you are receiving the item, while you are manufacturing and you are moving the item from manufacturing plant to some finished good storage sub inventory, in that case you will generate serial numbers. Okay. So maximum companies, what they do whenever they manufacture the item, immediately they will attach the serial number, right? They will print or everything, correct? And some companies, what they do, but when they are selling the item, then only they will stick the serial number. So, okay, when they are selling the item, when they are giving the item to a customer, in that case, they will attach the serial number. They will allocate the serial number to that product, whatever the product is, and they'll sell it. Okay, that is the meaning of this at sales order ratio at receipt. This is serial number generation. If you select predefined, like before you do transaction, before you even manufacture the item, you will generate a some sequence of serial numbers. Okay, this is same starting prefix and what is the number. Okay, fine, fine, let's go. Any questions? We will be discussing which is required. Okay, which is required. So on this, as I told, right, the item is also linked to your HR, is also linked to your CRM, manufacturing, WMS, okay, and some other applications. Okay, so when it is linked to some other applications, some other modules, right, the those related module attributes also will be there. So we are focusing more on key attributes of that's required for SEM. Any questions? Unexplained one. Fine.
So attribute means these all are attributes, sir.
These are all normal attributes. If you see this one, revision control, right? Check material shortage. Okay. All this grade control, restrict sub inventory. All these are normal attributes. The status attributes, this one, stockable, transactable. Okay. These are status attributes.
Okay.
So these are the key. The entire behavior of the item will decide this status attributes, and the normal attributes, it's a normally regularly. It's not that much impact on the item. But if you want to use the item functionality, transactions, or something, right? The main is these are all status attributes. Okay, stockable, transactable. Okay, fine. So next is bills of material. So bills of material, if you enable this, so we have a bill structure. Okay, bill structure, bills of material structure. So in that structure, you can utilize this item. So means this item, they will decide what is the components required, components quantity required to manufacture this item. So that kind of bills of material they create. So if you want to use this item in manufacturing side, that too on designing the bill, right? Bill. then we should enable this BOM allowed. Okay, BOM allowed. These are manufacturing related, and we will be having some BOM item type, standard model, optional class, and all. Okay, these are all on manufacturing side. Fine. So let's go to the next. This is asset management related. Okay, other module related, and this is costing. So if we enable this costing enable, right, then what will happen is for this item, uh, you will have cost. Okay, for this item, you will generate a cost. So cost is something like how much amount you spend to manufacture this item. Okay, that is very important, right? For whatever we do any business, first of all we have to check what is my investment, right? What is my investment, and after we sell the product and right, then we will see what is the profit for us. Okay, so this is something like item cost is like how much amount you spend to manufacture the item. So if you enable this, it whenever you perform any manufacturing activity and all, it will track the cost of the item. Okay, if you enable this inventory asset value, you can track. If you enable this, some roll up is there, casting roll up. Okay, in that case you can utilize this. Casting roll up is something like if you are using, we have four different type of casting methods: standard, average, FIFO, and LIFO. Okay, so if you include this, include in roll up, first we will be having something like cost updates. Okay, cost updates. First we update in something pending status, something like, and then we run some update standard programs, and the cost will be updated in standard costing. For that purpose, this roll up. Roll up is something like moving. Okay, moving to uh, final cost. Okay, fine. So this is defaulted. Can anyone guess where it is defaulted? I cannot enter this one, right? It is defaulted. Cost of goods sold account. Anyone remember somewhere we given
for
this
organization.
organization parameters? It is defaulted. Okay, fine. So why with this cost? Cost of goods sold account. Okay. So this is the account will default whenever you do any sales order issue transactions and all. Okay. And also we have default COGS. Okay. We'll discuss in order management side. What is default COGS? Okay. Fine. And COGS and default COGS will discuss there. Come to purchasing tab. So in purchasing tab, and this is status attribute purchasable. Okay. Purchasable. So if you enable this, this will automatically enable. Okay. If you can disable this one alone. So in this case, if it is only enable and this is not enable, in this case you can have internal requisition created, but you cannot create a purchase requisition and PO, and you cannot do any receiving activity if it is disable. If it is enable, you can do purchase requisition, internal requisition, PO creation, and further receipt creation. So that is the purpose. Okay, it's very important one, and also it is an interview question. Okay, fine. And this is use approved supplier. So use approved supplier in the sense like, for example, this is something like component, not a finished good, just assume. Okay, and whenever you have a demand for this item, you need demand. Okay, you need this item. Okay, you need this item, and whenever you need this component, who is the supply source? Okay, who is the supply source? If you already decided, if you already decided this is the supplier and I want to always go and purchase, okay, and you want to use this item in supplier, like approved supplier list, then we have to use this, we have to enable this checkbox. See, we have one concept, sourcing rule concept. In sourcing rule concept, so we automatically generate a purchase order to respect to suppliers. Okay, automatically. It is something like Components. These people are manufacturing laptops. So when they're manufacturing laptops, they need raw materials, right? For the raw materials, for the raw materials, always the business user cannot go okay and check, okay, this much quantity we need for production, this much of components we need, and always raising a PO manually. It should not be like that. They can automatic. We can automatic. Okay, we can automatic the order creations and everything. So in that automation process, we use this approved supplier list. Okay, use approved supplier means whenever it is enabled, this item can be used in approved supplier. Okay, approved supplier. Fine. So for now, this is not required because you are not buying this item. You are manufacturing this item because it is a laptop. Okay, it is a laptop. If any components, then yes, you are going and purchasing it. Okay, purchasing it. Fine. And then outsourced assembly, it's like we have something like called OSP. So here it is, outside purchasing processing item. It is something like some companies manufacturing the item. Okay, for example, if you take any car manufacturing industries, they're manufacturing the cars, and just assume the painting activity or something, testing activity is not available, it will be done by some third party company. It's like when you say third party company, like you, it is outside. Outside you are sending that item. Okay. If you want to use this item for sending into outside and completing that specific operation or specific activity, then we should use this outside processing item and outside assembly, outsourced assembly. Okay, fine. And this is okay, this is we missed, right? Allow description update, like when you will be having a purchase order, if you want to update the description in purchase order level, right, then you can enable this allow description update. So we have 1 minute, let's connect again. So next is RFQ required. So we have in purchasing side we have one flow. Okay, request for quotation.